What happens when someone finally realizes that the person they pushed away wasn't the problem, and that walking away was actually the healthiest decision he could make? Could 2026 be the year more people start taking responsibility for their dating choices? Stay with us until the very end, because this gets interesting.
You're just listening to your truth. You're just being honest with yourself. To choose yourself, even when it's super uncomfortable, that takes a lot of courage. And it's not selfish. You can appreciate what you've had, the love that you had, the things that you shared together, and still acknowledge that it's time to move on. It's okay to want more for yourself. And you're brave for not settling, because there are a lot of people that stay in relationships they don't want to be in because they're too afraid to leave.
Newsflash, marriage should not be treated the same way as when you're dating. You play by different rules when you're married because you made a commitment. You made vows to stay together through better or worse. That means that you should do everything that you can to maintain the relationship. You shouldn't just give up so easily. So when you say that you're just not feeling it, you're just not happy anymore, you're just feeling like you were a different person when you chose him, and so now you want to leave. After you promised that you would stay around forever, I think that does kind of make you the bad guy. And look, no one's holding you down in that marriage. Like, the man, if he knows that you really want to leave, he would rather you just leave. But in those situations, I don't think that it's fair to say that it was a mutual thing, and definitely not right for you to make him the bad guy. Which is why if you make a promise and then you end up breaking that promise, you should absolutely take accountability for that. And you should treat it as so, which means that during divorce proceedings, you shouldn't try to take everything that he has. You should actually maybe give him a little bit more.
For years, some dating conversations focus heavily on what men needed to improve. But now, more discussions are asking whether women also need to examine the choices they make when relationships fall apart.
Don't chase women.
Really?
They'll chase you. You meet a lady, you express to her how wonderful she looks, or how you respond to the way she looks, or whatever it is, and then go on about your business.
One major shift is the growing acceptance that a man can simply walk away. He doesn't always have to argue, beg, or spend years trying to convince someone to appreciate him.
A lot of girls are promiscuous, bad habits, don't respect male authority, but they want you to wife them up. And I'm telling guys, don't do that. You got to vet women out in the beginning very hard, because thanks to modernity and feminism, what's happened basically is all the training wheels that society had to keep things in place and to keep things in check are gone. We used to have Christianity. We used to have shame. We used to have the church. We used to have strong-knit communities. But now that's all out the wayside. So since we have removed these social training wheels, what's ended up happening is we have this deregulated sexual marketplace where a lot of women are just not worthy of being a wife. And I want guys to focus on, when you do identify the woman that's worthy of being your wife, then obviously you give her the world. But she has to earn that. And that's the problem, is that we just think that girls should get things for having a vagina. And I'm here to say, no.
Some men are choosing to redirect their energy into careers, fitness, finances, friendships, and personal growth. Instead of waiting for someone to change, they change their own circumstances.
This society is changing a lot, and even when we see a guy out that we think is cute, a lot of times they won't even walk up to us because they're intimidated.
And I don't know.
And that's weird to me, because I don't know. I think that's part of being a female, is you want to feel like you're being chased.
I feel like guys do the chasing, and girls I'm the tequila, not the lime. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to I'm not gonna chase. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna chase you.
That can make rejection look very different in hindsight. The man who once seemed easy to replace may eventually become the person who is completely unavailable.
A lot of these women are never satisfied, and you wonder why men don't want to get married. You wonder why men are hesitant on long-term relationships. You wonder why men are taking a step back on putting themselves in certain predicaments. It's because of women like this. These are the same women who just wake up one day and want to graduate from their marriage. They come to the conversation, I want a man that's a provider. I want a man who pays all the bills. I want to make sure I can be a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mother. This man has provided you all those things, and you still have a problem. And this is why I always say to these women who exude this ungrateful behavior that, girl, you better be careful, because if he have any kind of female co-workers at one of them jobs, they will be glad to trade positions with you.
Another lesson involves consistency. Excitement can be attractive, but reliability, loyalty, and emotional stability often become more valuable when people start thinking seriously about long-term relationships.
He was a sweet man until he was manipulated one too many times. He was a man that would go out of his way to help. You should just look in the mirror. You'll see her.
Modern dating can also create the illusion of endless options. When everyone believes a better match is just one swipe away, walking away from a good relationship can sometimes feel easier than working through difficult moments.
Oh, let me do everything to get a girl. Let me get a girl. And it's like they chase the women. They don't chase the success. And when you chase the women, what ends up happening is you have to work exponentially harder because you're dealing with someone that didn't like you in the first place.
As a woman, you need to learn how to flip the script and make everything that man's fault. Even it don't matter.
I see dozens of videos like this every single day. Explain to me again the benefit to a man being in a relationship with a woman, because there isn't.
But options aren't the same as compatibility. Finding someone attractive is easy. Finding someone whose values, goals, personality, and lifestyle genuinely fit can be much harder.
I'm 30 years old and I couldn't be more uninterested in marriage and dating. I've done so much on my own that I'm genuinely unimpressed by the population of men that we have to date. I have not met one person that has made my life significantly easier because I firmly believe that when you get into a partnership with a man, a woman never benefits. I did the move in with a guy thing and I daydreamed about it my entire life and I didn't. I was like, ew, this is literally free labor and also free ass work. The thing is, for me, I'm hyper independent. I have literally lived in 5 different cities by the time I was 30 and I moved every single time by myself. I also bought a place when I was 25, a mortgage on my own. I know how to do electrical work. I know how to patch drywall. As long as I have a YouTube video, I'm good. I own my own business. I set up an LLC. I'm literally doing all these things. And when a man is literally trying to pen pal with me just to be casual, it gives me the ick because what the fuck? What do you have to offer? Oh, you paid for my dinner. Oh, you paid for my drinks. You paid for my trip. Okay, I can do that myself. The appeal is not there. Unless a man is truly making my life significantly easier, I would rather be single than be in bad company.
That's why some women are beginning to question whether certain dating habits actually help them find better relationships or simply kept them searching.
You know you've leveled up and you healed when you gather the courage to end it with a good guy. And let me elaborate. قد في منا بيكونوا بعلاقة مع حدا شخص كتير منيح، شخص عن جد كتير منيح، بيعقد. But deep down we know إنه هالشخص منه مناسبنا. But we stick around because he is that good guy, that great guy. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about someone you're in love with, someone you deeply, deeply love, but you just know you deserve so much more. He's a great guy, but there's an intellectual gap between you two. He's a great guy, but you've never felt more lonely having a conversation with him. He's a good guy, but you don't have the same interests. He's someone you're madly in love with, but you have to sometimes make yourself a little bit smaller for him to be able to grasp you. He is a good guy, but he lacks ambition in the categories you care about. In my opinion, ending it with the good guy is a big, big form of self-love, and it really reflects your self-worth and what you think of yourself and that you are fully leveling up and ready to level up. I really think that maturing is realizing that it's so much better to feel lonely by yourself than lonely with someone else, someone siphoning your energy and your time.
At the same time, responsibility has to work both ways. Men can make poor choices, communicate badly, or take good partners for granted too. Accountability isn't supposed to belong to one gender.
I believe that men have it the hardest when it comes to just life in general because it's nobody's going to save you. Unless you got rich parents that give you money or whatever, nobody's going to save you. As far as us women, if not saying that's who I am, but if one day I don't want to work, I'm sure I can find a dude that's going to take care of me.
Absolutely.
Just for that, I'm I'm kind of lucky to be a woman. Yeah. And I'm not saying we don't go through our share of issues as far as safety and, stuff like that. But I believe it's harder to be a man at all times.
The biggest shift is that some men no longer see being single as a punishment. If a relationship doesn't offer respect, peace, and mutual effort, walking away can feel more reasonable than forcing it.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? A lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
And when both sides understand that, dating becomes less about winning and losing and more about making better decisions. A healthy relationship requires two people who genuinely want to be there.
When you're 34, when you're 35, and you're still like, yeah, I don't know what I want. I'm like, dude, you're like old.
The amount of times that I've seen this come up on my For You page where girls cannot fathom the idea of why a man in his mid-30s might possibly be afraid of commitment even when he's in his mid-30s, it blows my mind because you think it's a pretty simple explanation. But it really goes to show the ignorance of how the average girl doesn't really understand the average male experience in his early 20s. So I'm going to help you guys understand, so hopefully you guys can stop asking this question and shaming guys who want to be single in their mid-30s just because you're single in your 30s. So the average guy 18 through like 26 is going to be broke and pretty much not really have that much access to meeting women. Typically, once a man starts being a little bit more financially stable is when he's going to have the most access to women because he's able to go out on dates more, he's able to just go out more in general to meet more women. So normally a man becomes financially stable around their late 20s to mid 30s. And a lot of men did not get to experience a lot of fun things in their early 20s like women do. A pretty girl who has no money is going to have offers to do a lot of cool stuff for pretty much no money when they're 18 through like 25. And then around 28 to 30 is when a girl is going to start looking for a serious commitment. But a man just started doing well and he's able to travel. He's able to go out on dates. He's able to go out to nightclubs and actually get attention for the first time in his life. And that's the average male experience. So when a man is 32, even though that might be the time for you that you're looking for a stable relationship, for him, this is all new and this is all exciting and he's finally getting the attention he feels like he deserves. So he's not going to commit unless you're really, really worth it, because why would he give up all this freedom? It's his first time ever experiencing this. But this is just a common tactic I see girls do where they try to shame guys for being single when they're in their mid-30s or even later. Like they're also not single and also in their mid-30s. But the reality is they don't want a relationship. It's not even that they're scared of commitment. It's that they know they don't want that responsibility of having a girlfriend when they want to go and experience life the same way you did when you were in your 18 through 25s. Girls will just use this as a shaming technique to make it seem like a man in his 30s is somehow behind because his obligation is to be married and have kids around that time. But the reality is men don't have a biological clock the same way that a woman does on the expiration when they could have children or start a family. And pointing out that a man is single in his mid-30s like the girl is also not single in her mid-30s, the only difference is the man's doing it out of choice. So just because you've experienced everything that you needed to in your early 20s doesn't mean that a man in his late 30s who never got that experience is all of a sudden behind for not wanting that. And it's a lot of responsibility being in a relationship, and not every man wants to have that responsibility if he still wants to travel and do things. And that's why some guys might be a little hesitant about a relationship.
So here's a question. Are more single women genuinely realizing that some good men were right to walk away? Or is social media simply making this responsibility trend look bigger than it really is? Stay with us until the last second, because the final lesson could change the way you look at modern dating in 2026.